What's your name?
What's my name? Stefan, I go by.
Stefan, when did you get into bikes?
When did I get into bikes? 2014, May, early May in 2014.
You didn't start cycling just like everybody else got a bike when they were little kids?
Well, that's when I officially started with the road bike. And I was into mountain biking since I was a kid. As far as just riding up and down the street with my friends, just racing each other back and forth, always since I was a kid. And I got into mountain biking, did a little bit of trails here and there, nothing too crazy, but that was pretty much the start of it. But road biking, I got into 2014, 6 years ago, a little over 6 years.
How'd that begin?
How did it begin? I started off with a Giant Defy, and I thought it was a steep investment because it's funny because I thought it was like so expensive when spending $750 for a bike. I'm like, that's absurd, it's crazy. So at the time I thought of it, I was just like, you know what, let's see what's up. And ever since then, I've never turned back.
So in 2017, you got a road bike.
2014.
2014.
I got a road bike. Once I made that choice, it was definitely different. It brought me back to how I felt as a kid again. Getting into cycling and indulging and learning about clipping in, wearing a jersey, bib shorts. That was just like a whole different dynamic to my neuromuscular system in the brain. Like, it just hit me in a way where I was like, okay, this is very strict and different. How to be set up and geared on to cycling, how it indulges deep. It definitely took me for a loop for a while, but then I got accustomed to it into a lifestyle.
Okay. Tell me how you progressed from road bikes to track bikes.
From road to track, how I progressed. Wow. I got my first track bike in 4 years ago at 2016. Yeah, 2016 in October, when MSC, Mott Street Cycles, was just closing down. They did a closeout sale in Soho section of New York. And pretty much one of my friends that used to be on track, he got into it years prior to when I started track, and he used to go to Trexlertown, Casina, you name it, all the tracks in the tri-state area. And his name is Jeff, by the way. Shout outs to Jeff. Definitely a big inspiration and mentor and friend and brother that has got me to the point that I am now. And he put me on to Mott Street Cycles before they closed down, and that's the rest is history. And I just completely changed my equilibrium as far as awareness on a bike and how to ride a fixed gear.
So now that you've had experience both on track and road, how do you feel? How do they compare, track and road? What have you learned and gained from one that you could take onto the other?
What I've gained from track and road, it's a good question to ask yourself. Like, the difference of the two dynamics of cycling with track and road, man, it's, the list goes on. Like, with road, it's good in a way where they see that you're someone that's trying to progress and you have a fitness background and so forth. And by the way, I came from a phys ed background. Before cycling, I was into working out, calisthenics, bodyweight training, a little bit of powerlifting here and there at the gym. But once I got into cycling, I figured, I'm like, oh, I'm strong. Maybe I can see what's up. But I got humbled very quickly when I got into the road. And then the track bike definitely helped my game up a lot as far as like the different strengths that you can get from track, and your cadence work, climbing, just consistency of just spinning your RPMs or your legs. It's like, it's crazy. It's crazy how it is, how it works out. So It's definitely improved my game on the road. What I would do is I would use my track bike a lot in the winter and just get out there, even if it's, despite how cold it is, even if it's 20 degrees, I'll have the gear set up for it and just go in and just ride in the winter, and it translates over into the season.
So you feel that riding track bikes has made you a stronger road rider?
As far as track making me stronger to road, yes. I can honestly agree with that, because for the consistency of the 2 to 3 seasons off season into the next season, I definitely seen a difference in like ease of just pedaling and just getting that cadence work together where you don't have to use as much energy. Then when it goes into the road bike, it's just like, wow. It shocks the hell out of you. You know, it really definitely it gives you appreciation from just the time put in off season to get ready for the next. So it definitely has got me stronger.
Let me ask you this: what kind of diet do you have for cycling? Do you do anything special, or you just eat anything and everything?
Diet. Yeah, eating is it's very funny with eating, but with eating habits, definitely have to follow some type of structural pattern. But at the same token, I do like to treat myself. I do like to eat and indulge. Not of as far as like the greedy and anything like that, but I do like food. I'm a foodie, but I'm very cognizant of what I eat and what will fuel me. And as far as how I feel on certain days, hydration is very key. And as far as timing from riding to eating plays a certain role, as far as like what, 2 hours prior or even an hour prior. But even if I'm congested with time and I eat right before, I kind of just ease into where I let my food digest, and you know what I'm saying, and I let the riding speak for itself and just go from there and just let it flow.
Do you have any type of off-bike workout regimen that you do? Any kind of exercising, or it's just strictly a bike for you?
Off-bike regimens. It's definitely a lot that you could do off-bike as far as cross-training that you can do. As far as my background with calisthenics, it's definitely honed in as far as your fit and posture being on the bike for long periods of time. It definitely has helped, especially like doing planks, push-ups, just like basic bodyweight training regimens definitely get you in tune with your bike. Because I feel like with calisthenics, it's more personal to self, and you know, you're using your body weight as resistance. And once you translate that onto the bike, once you're in an aerodynamic position, it just helps that much more, and you can be able to resist more. So definitely calisthenics for sure. And for power, weight training. As far as with the conditioning with hiking, it's definitely puts you in a different peaceful mind space where it gets you to a point where you can elevate and level out your thinking. Compared to the bike, it's just surreal how that works. I don't know. That's still something that I'm trying to still figure out, but as time goes on, I know that it will get better. But the hiking, I would say, is a good implementation of into putting into cycling, because it definitely have your viewpoint expanded into different opportunities, even if it's minute to huge.
Okay, cool. I have a question that I wanted to ask you. Being a black cyclist, since you've gotten into cycling, what kind of trials and tribulations have you experienced, let's say with the road cyclists? And also, because we ride track bikes, I'd like to get your opinion not only on the road cycling experiences you've had, but also on the experiences you've had as a fixed gear track rider.
Being a black cyclist, wow, it's a heavy statement within itself. Definitely a different lens behind the camera. Everywhere's a camera, you can see it from different viewpoints, but when you change the lens, especially being a black cyclist, it's a little troublesome, you know. It just depends. I think once you get to a point where you don't let it bother you and you're more in tune with yourself and you just surround yourself with people, regardless who they are, and they see the drive and the determination and your character, I feel like it just decimates all, and it just diminishes the fact that I'm a black cyclist, you know. And it's definitely something that the fact that it's only a few black cyclists out here, I definitely, I don't know, it's just, I don't let it bother me. I don't let it bother me because I feel like when it does, it could throw me off my game. It could throw me off not riding in general, so I don't let it bother me.
What kind of experiences have you had with the roadies?
Experiences with the roadies. Some real snobby and standoffish, you know, but like I said, I don't let it throw me off my game. I mean, with some roadies, they could be roadies and you can tell like they're real standoffish or bougie if they got the nice job and everything. I don't want to get too crazy with it, but to each his own.
How about the track people?
Track people, as far as what I've encountered, they've been very open arms. Going to the track, you can see the background and determination and frame of body that I have and what I can implement. They definitely gear me on and give me the tools that I need to get where I need to be and to be strong and potentially even be pro. They foresee that, and that's just like awesome within itself, you know, to see that future sight within somebody just in that moment where they barely even know you. I was like, that speaks for itself. So with the track people, very chilled back, open arms. If they see that you're about it, they'll give it to you.
What words of advice would you have for the 15-year-old Stefan if you could talk to him today in respects to cycling, for example? What words of advice?
What words can I give my 15-year-old self?
To motivate him to get into cycling, to go beyond.
Words of encouragement. At the age that I am now, to look back at the 15-year-old me, I would definitely just say, take risks, learn, listen, observe, stay quiet when you need to, and everything should work its way out. Even if it doesn't work out in your time space, have it to where it works for you and keep it where it's always consistency of motivation and you can stay on track and stay inspired to have it just to be a reminder always, just a continuum, consistent. And that's what I would definitely tell myself, that consistency is always key. Once you keep that, it's just a driving point and just becomes a habit, a good habit at that. So that consistency is always key. That's what I always say, and I always tell myself.
Where can people find you?
Where can people find me at? So based off of what I've said, I have an eccentric, outside the box type of thinking. So my Instagram name is eccentric.sm91, something like that. But and on Facebook, Stefan Miller. Find me there, DM me, we chop it up. I'm cool. I'm open arms to anybody. So.
You part of any teams?
The team that I'm on currently right now is Karma Racing Team, and they've been a big inspiration as far as getting me where I need to be, as far as with speed work, group rides, unity, and as far as just in general, just being a part of the sport on a team is just like, wow, it's crazy. It kind of puts you in a zone where as if you're on a tour, on a team, and y'all getting ready to, you know, gear up and about to go in, you know, for the ride or for a race, group ride. It's definitely good to be a part of something, you know what I'm saying, and express yourself, and they can come to a common ground where everybody's on unison and then we could be at peace with each other. You know what I'm saying? And despite, you know, teams may sometimes bump heads, but that's all right too. That's what brings people together even more. So I think it's all good in the end.
Cool. Thank you very much for your time.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Thank you.